Going to try to make this one short and sweet. This is just an info video as far as on the skid steers. If you lose all hydraulic function, especially on the Caterpillars, when I say all hydraulic function, I mean it's like you just put the parking brake on and you have nothing. No forward, reverse, left, right, boom, up, down, tilt, nothing. What you want to do is you want to come back here first of all with the engine running and see if your hydraulic fan is running back here. If it is not, more than likely it's going to be the hydraulic coupler, or the hydraulic the coupler for the hydraulic pump, which is in between the engine and the hydraulic pump. So I've pulled the engine out of this, just giving you guys a little FYI here. So that is a plastic composite coupler, and as you can see, the center of it back behind the outer teeth there is gone. It's smooth. So basically it just broke down and ripped the teeth out, or got hot and melted the teeth, whatever. Here's the new one. Okay, there's the part number. Okay, this is directly from Cat. Expensive little booger for what it is. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little FYI here. So if that's not working, more than likely it's the coupler. You have to come down here. You're going to have to split the pump from the engine. You can do it one of two ways. You can either pull the pump out and deal with all the hydraulic fluid, or you can take the engine out of the unit. I opted for taking the engine out of the unit because I didn't want to have to deal with all the hydraulic lines, seals, all that stuff on the pump. So that's why I pulled the engine. In the midst of pulling the engine, you are going to have not 10 but 12 bolts. Don't let it lie to you. There's 12 bolts around here, okay, that holds this to the back of the engine. And you have to get into it from the cab side, from the front side of the machine, and come under the pump. The two bottom bolts here give you a little words of wisdom on how I ended up getting them out. Made it a lot easier. There's not a whole lot of room in there to be able to wiggle around with tools and stuff, so you're definitely going to be using extensions and stuff to get to those two bottom bolts. What I ended up doing was I left the top two bolts in. Took the rest of the bolts out other than the two bottom bolts because I couldn't reach them. Couldn't even see them with all the gunk in the bottom of this belly pan. So what I ended up doing was I got the engine ready to come out. I unbolted the engine, hooked it up, and raised the engine up a little bit. By doing so, it raised the pump up. The pump is not mounted to anything but the engine, and of course all the lines. The lines will flex. So raise the engine up, go from the front side of the machine under the pump. You're able to see the bolts, get to them at ease, break them loose, get them out of there, set the engine back down, take the top two bolts out, and then should be able to separate the pump along with the engine. You know, should be able to get that engine separated from the pump, I guess. Now, the problem that I had doing that, and more than likely the problem you're having, is the fact that it won't separate. So the reason being is this plastic composite has melted down to the teeth because it had stripped out, and it's, you know, your engine's just turning and the shaft's not, so it's creating friction, causing things to melt down. Okay, that meltdown ends up getting on these teeth, and I'll show you. See that discoloration right there and there on those teeth? That is actually that plastic composite from that gear. And what has happened is when it melted and it cooled off and dried, it actually melted and cooled off and dried behind the teeth and formed like a little break for that to stop and not be able to pull it apart. Don't get deterred. This is all you need to do. Have your engine hooked up to your hoist, whatever, ready to be pulled out. And you're going to be back and forth between the engine and here. You're going to take you a strap and wrap around, a heavy duty strap, not these little straps. These little straps here is just basically to hold the pump. When I go to put it back together, it's going to give me that leverage to do this when I put it back together. But to pull this loose, wrap you a strap around the pump, okay? Walk over here and I'll show you what I used over here at the service truck. Make sure you have a chain hoist, something heavy enough to be able to pull that. Now, this here is an 1,100 pound chain hoist, and I ended up breaking the hook off of that straight off. I mean, just flat broke it off. Okay, that was the only one that I had here, so I ended up going to Harbor Freight and I bought the 1,500 pound, or I'm sorry, 1.5 ton chain hoist, so a 3,000 pound chain hoist. Picked it up, hooked it up, and it popped it right off, no problems, and was able to pull the engine out. So you're not going to break anything that isn't already broken and has to be replaced anyway. So hook to it, pull it. I just hooked right here to the step and popped it free. So basically that's it. Now you can get these discs online, Amazon, or I think Amazon has them, but I do know eBay has them. They're $125 on there. I opted to go with Cat just because the extent of pulling an engine to change it out. Again, online you can get them, like I said, 125 bucks all day long. This one from Cat was 250 bucks, double the price. There's the Cat number. Went and picked it up, bit the bullet, and went ahead and got that. Now, these do go on one way. You can put it on either way, you know, but there is a way, one certain way that these go on, and you have to pay attention when you take the old one off, how that goes on there. That way you can put the new one back on, and you know, the correct way. So hopefully this helps somebody. Video ended up being longer than what I wanted, but I'm going to get back to this, go ahead and clean the belly pan out, get this thing ready to go. Probably go ahead and just power wash the engine while I've got it out as well, get it all cleaned up, whatever, and get this thing back together. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.